Welcome back, YouTube fans, to another episode of Ask Builder. The SBA instructed not to give you your $10,000? Did they have communication where they've gone and instructed their loan officers not to give you your $10,000? I have a jaw-dropping letter that will expose that and more. I'm actually featuring comments every day, answering a lot of the questions that you guys are seeking on the EIDL program and many other of these current programs like PUA, Reconsideration of EIDL, PPP. So smash that like button, ring the bell so you guys can get notified and you guys could follow up and see the answers to some of the comments you left, because I may be featuring your comments tomorrow. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ed Builder and I'm an entrepreneur and consultant. I've spent the last 20 years of my life in real estate investing, and the last 10 years of my life I spent gaining multiple engineering degrees in industrial, mechanical, and environmental engineering. Within those 10 years, I spent my time traveling around the country, working for some of the world's largest Fortune 500 companies and consulting them in new acquisition, purchasing, and essentially cash flowing their businesses. One of which is a rather large aerospace company, currently owned today by Warren Buffett. So shout out to Warren. Today, I'd like to bring you guys some updates on the EIDL. That is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program that's brought to us by the CARES Act 2. A lot of entrepreneurs out there are a little uncertain as to what they should be expecting and what they should be looking for in the EIDL program. And I hope today that I could clear up a lot of that noise for you and give you guys some advice that'll help you guys make an informed decision. Now, just a disclaimer: I'm not a certified CPA. Nor am I a practicing attorney. But what I will do today is I will go through some of your comments that have been posted. So if you like this content, smash the like button, subscribe down below, and ring the bell, because you're going to want to come back tomorrow when I answer all of your comments and questions. Post down below, leave a comment. I'm going to review them all. I'm going to put them live on air so that you guys could have first-hand response. So without further ado, let's get into some of the comments that have already been left. Tim Rice posts, keep up the good work. I'm still in the holding pattern and reconsideration, but still watching every video. Thanks for watching, Tim. Hey, Ed, I'm going through the EIDL loan program myself. This is Louis Squall. Going through the EIDL loan program myself. The loan officer didn't say anything about up to $25,000 needing collateral or hazard insurance. So this is very important that you guys understand. If you go and you get a loan that's greater than $25,000, the SBA is asking you for collateral, and not just collateral, but insuring it to ensure that if something were to happen, fire damage or any type of natural disaster, they want to know that they could get their money back in the event that you go insolvent. Now, be warned that when you get into this $25,000 with this collateral, you're essentially getting in pretty deep with the SBA. For those of you that are sole proprietors, I mean, this could mean putting up your home, okay? Because sole proprietors aren't protected under the corporate veil like an LLC would be. So be very careful. I have some videos that I will link below that detail the $25,000 or greater on the EIDL loan and the collateral that's required. Karen Smith, I applied on March 24th. I called yet again yesterday, routine update, saying they're working on it. That's been a common theme from a lot of people. Karen, what I would do is I would call back and ask for a tier 2. Maybe they could get you some more information than just a tier 1. A lot of these tier 1s are new employees because they've gone and hired thousands to answer the phones. Jeff Briel, can you do a video on EIDL funding delay? I heard a system glitch delaying the monies after signing the loan docs. Yeah, I mean, we'll certainly do that for you guys. Now, I can tell you that the SBA is continually saying that they're processing things very slow because they have high demand, and so naturally that's been delayed. The overall intent in the beginning was to have you guys your funds within 3 days, and to also offer you a $10,000 grant as an advance. We all know that never happened. Stay tuned towards the end of this video because I want to drop a bombshell on you. I have some information direct from the SBA and why they've gone and shrunk that $10,000 that all these small businesses were anticipating down to a $1,000 per employee. Stick around. I want to drop that bombshell on you guys at the end of this video. Peggy Segundo, thank you for constant updates. My loan was approved. Congratulations, Peggy, on Tuesday, 5/26. Yet funds have not been deposited. I would stay tuned. As you saw earlier, funds are delayed. So just be patient. I'm sure it will be coming. Lori Toller writes, I was really busy for a couple days and I didn't have time to watch any videos, but I am now catching up. Well, thank you, Lori. Don't know if that was a question, but I appreciate you watching. Smash that like button, Lori. Subscribe to my channel, and maybe I could answer some more of your questions in the near future. Melissa Mendez, thanks for your advice. I'm still a fan. I get her question. If the offer is greater than expected and greater than the $25,000, can I have that adjusted by the SBA? I'm certain that anything is a negotiation. Let's say they approve you for $100,000, but you don't want to offer up that $25,000 or greater in collateral. You could simply request that that's too much that you're asking for, and go back to them with a negotiation and say, I'm really only interested in, say, $24,999, right? So Eileen Biden-Knapp, I got my loan money today. They said it's coming, but no advance is coming. So she must have received her loan, but did not receive her $1,000 per employee. That's typical for a lot of small businesses. So if you applied for the loan after the loan closed, if you applied for the emergency disaster grant after the funds have already been allocated to the limited first come first servers, you didn't receive that $10,000. You didn't even receive that $1,000 per employee. So that's happening to a lot of people. Great job as usual. Thanks, M-Dog. Don't need a grant, but love the video. Thanks, Irving. All right, Moy B. I woke up to an approval email this morning. I heard you mention last night that the real estate agents were not getting approved. They were getting rejections. So I've been speculating because what we see within the EIDL, what you could actually use the fund for is for your operating expenses only, things like rent, paying utilities, even paying employees. However, I would recommend you not pay employees from it and you go the route of the PPP because you could get that forgiven. EIDL, you cannot get forgiven. So just keep that in mind. If you are looking to pay your employees, go the route of PPP, not EIDL. I do have videos. I will link those all down below. I want you guys to catch up on those as well. Leave comments wherever you need to leave comments, and I will answer your questions. So I've been speculating that because you cannot use funds for, say, fixed assets, that many real estate investors are getting denied this particular loan with the idea that the SBA will believe that we're going to spend that money on fixed assets. So I can speculate that a little bit, that maybe that's part of the rejection process, but I don't have any facts to back it up. Just a lot of comments of real estate investors being denied. Nate says, called the SBA this morning and talked to a Tier 2 agent. That's great advice. And he informed me I'm approved for a $1,000 grant and a $7,000 loan. I'm an April 8th Vortex and an Uber driver, which this is open to Uber drivers. This is open to independent contractors. My credit was pulled on May 21st. When they checked my Experian, it was a 582. The agent said that I would not be getting an invite email. We shall see. I will try and ask for $150,000, but I'm not sure if they're going to deny my loan. Chances are, if you're asking for far more money than you truly need. Now I'm not clear how much you're making as an Uber driver, so I can't really speculate. But I can almost say that they're going to base this off your 582 credit score, and they're going to make an assessment as to how you intend to pay that money back. So if you go and take a look at what a $150,000 payment looks like, at the 3.75 interest rate, and you will see what that payment looks like and over 30 years. Now, it may only be around $750, which, of course, if you can't afford that $750 and you want the 150K, I would push for it. But I'm not clear on that one. I'm not sure if that's going to be a likely outcome for you. Sparkle Tech called 8 days ago, got hung up on. Sorry to hear that, Sparkle. And then applied for the EIDL Vortex on 4/6. Grant was paid on 5/1. Congratulations. Received the portal 6/2. Eligible for 150K and accepted the total, waiting on the approval. So congratulations, Sparkle. That's great advice. I don't know exactly what your credit score looked like. Maybe you could drop us a new comment, give us some advice on what your credit score looked like, and share with us how that process looked for getting approved for 150K. Sean Laus. They should offer grants for what is going on now, first with the virus and the closing of business, but now looting and being shut down all over again, plus the damages. Now, today is June 2nd of 2020, so the country is facing a lot of looting with what's going on with the riots in the nation. So Sean is asking that the SBA help with small businesses that are affected in that nature. But first, he wants to be helped for the pandemic disaster. Those of you guys that have been denied for an EIDL loan, if you want to apply for the reconsideration, I've linked a video down below as well that you guys could go through the process of applying for that reconsideration. You will need your declined offer. And, there are potential outcomes, like you could get yourself a cosigner that may have a better credit score than yours, maybe perfect your credit score in a short-term way. So if you could, let's say you have high utilization, if you could get utilization down to 30% or less, that's typically a good boost on your credit score, following the 3-3 rule is that 30%. Skate Bits. The problem is that people use the word grant as if it were independent program, but the SBA is declaring that this is actually an advance, not a grant. So, Skate, what I've seen from many of the comments and many of the shared content out here from YouTube is that even if you get denied for the loan and you've already received the grant, let's say you've received a $1,000 grant, or let's say you've received a $3,000 grant, maybe you had 3 employees that you declared. The SBA is giving you a denial letter, but they're also saying within that denial letter, maybe poor credit score, but we are happy and pleased that we were able to assist you with the grant that you do not need to repay. So not clear why they're changing it to say that this is now an advance versus a grant, but it could be because it's outside of that, outside of the original allocation of funding. Dean Merrill says, isn't the play to accept the grant after receiving the loan, then pay the loan back ASAP? Play the game, especially since the legal process may end up getting you the full 10K. I can't give legal advice, but what I can share is that there is a class action lawsuit against the SBA right now, claiming that it's unconstitutional that the SBA went and changed the guidelines to state that you would not receive a $10,000 grant, but you would instead receive $1,000 per employee. And I want you guys to stick around here because I've got this bombshell that I'm waiting to drop on you guys, where the SBA was sending emails back and forth internally declaring what to issue in the loans for this grant. Now, they've gone and even made statements. I'll give you a little bit of taste here. They've gone and even made statements that say, wait until they've been approved and then give them the grant, versus the 3-day window has to be executed for the small business, and you don't have to repay the grant even if you're denied. I mean, it says it right in the CARES Act. Louis Smith, yes, people should absolutely contact their prospective representative and stay on them until they get the help they deserve. That's great advice. More importantly, what else is great advice is that if you have not received your $10,000, there are senators that have been following this from the very beginning telling the SBA that they need to issue the $10,000 upon request. That was something that something that the small business owner or the independent contractor or the sole proprietor got to declare that I need $10,000 to keep my business afloat, and you're supposed to grant it, no questions asked. I got declined for the grant and the loan, and as a result of a single credit pull, my credit score had dropped 70 points. Well, I'm very sorry, Amy Perkins. What you can do, if you're gonna apply for that reconsideration, I would go and apply for that reconsideration. If you had a higher credit score prior to the pandemic, and you could prove that to the SBA, that would be a certain to your advantage to indicate that yes, you had a greater credit score, but not this natural disaster of which you need a economic injury disaster loan for has gone and caused you to have to do missed payments and et cetera, and therefore your credit score suffered. Now, if you don't want to apply for that reconsideration, and instead you just want to write your credit score, I would go through the process of disputing these, right? In some cases, the SBA went and pulled your credit twice. They pulled it to check on whether or not you should receive the grant, and then they checked on it again to see if you should receive the loan. So they've gone and maybe hit you for 30 points, and then came back around and hit you for another 20 points with 2 hard hits on your overall credit score. So if you want to dispute that, there's some videos down below. I also have videos that kind of walk you through the process of how a credit score works, and identifies ways for you to improve your credit score. Pretty simple ways to improve your credit score, and you may want to do that prior to putting into your reconsideration, because you have up to 6 months to get your reconsideration process through the SBA. So there's definitely time, and maybe time might help you in this case. Okay, guys, who's ready for that jaw dropper that exposes our answers to the question of whether or not the SBA was instructed not to give you your $10,000? Let's talk about the backstory here for a little bit. The CARES Act said that a $10,000 grant would be issued to a small business upon request as an emergency disaster loan. This wasn't something that was up to the SBA's discretion. This was something that if you needed your $10,000, you were able to indicate it to the SBA, and they were supposed to grant you that funding. Even Senator Schumer sent letters to the SBA, basically indicating that they are not compliant to the CARES Act. Let's take a look at the details here. So one of the directors of the Office of Grants Management, Kim S. Butler, sent an internal communication to Tammy Perillo of the SBA, asking, her words, why should we, the SBA, be paying grants of $10,000? Tammy responded and indicated that RER Solutions has been contracted to remove applicants through a fraud check indicator. Some of these things make a lot of sense, right? No duplicates, so you couldn't go and apply today and apply tomorrow and receive 2 funds of $10,000. Deceased, so you couldn't use your dead grandfather or dead grandmother's or next door neighbor's information and apply for a $10,000 grant. Here's a good one. You could not have a phone number that's a VoIP. Now that's a tough one, because a lot of sole proprietors use VoIP numbers as their primary business contact numbers. They don't always have those landline numbers. Invalid routing numbers on your bank accounts. Unable to verify your business registration would disqualify you. Sole proprietors, how would you verify that a sole proprietor has business registration? They don't. And so here's the real shocker. What Tammy indicated to Kim S. Butler is the payment amount logic would be calculated as the following. If the number of employees is 0, then the amount paid out for the grant is $1,000. If any employees of 10 or greater, then the amount paid out would be $10,000, because you can't exceed $10,000. Otherwise, it would be 1 times $1,000 per employee that would be paid out. And this is in accordance with the CARES Act. Not according to Senator Schumer, it's not, who sent the SBA a letter stating that they are in violation of the CARES Act. So all of this information is being leaked during a class action lawsuit where the SBA is being sued by small business owners who are indicating that they did not receive their funds within the 3 days. They also did not have the ability to request the amount of up to $10,000, that it was left up to the discretion of the SBA, and they're filing that as unconstitutional. Guys, I want to thank you again for joining me in this episode of Ask Builder. I'm actually featuring comments every day, answering a lot of the questions that you guys are seeking on the EIDL program and many other of these current programs like PUA, Reconsideration of EIDL, PPP. So smash that like button, ring the bell so you guys could get notified and you guys could follow up and see the answers of some of the comments you left, because I may be featuring your comments tomorrow. More to come, guys. See you soon.